Chapter 1. Pivot from Fear. Don't compare your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20. In 2006, when I was 18 years old, I moved from the small town of Ashtabula, Ohio, to the big city of Los Angeles, California. I wanted to become an actor. When I first made the decision, I had support from my family and the majority of my friends. However, I had a few unforgettable encounters which still stick with me today. I'll never forget being at a friend's graduation party. We were all ecstatic that high school was over. A buddy of mine pulled me aside and introduced me to his friend. "Hey, this is my friend Freddie. He's going to Hollywood to be an actor." Without missing a beat, his friend burst into laughter, looked up at me and said, Oh, you're serious? Good luck with that." He then changed the subject. Interestingly enough, I don't remember his name or face, but I do remember how the interaction made me feel. A few days later, my mom Renee and I were at Kmart. We were browsing the electronics aisle when we bumped into my friend's mom. As we were wrapping up our small talk, she asked me what I had in mind for the future. I told her I was going to Los Angeles to become an actor. She then replied with, "That's great. What are you going to do after that?" Although both of these statements were different, they ultimately held the same message. That won't work. You will fail. If I would have been swayed by either of them, I wouldn't have accomplished what I have in my life. Most people think once you become successful, people won't doubt you anymore. Alyssa and I were rudely awakened when we stepped into a new field, and the same cycle happened again. In 2014, we began working with an anti-aging company selling, you guessed it, anti-aging products. Mind you, we were only 25 years old and hadn't birthed a wrinkle. We received similar feedback. "Why are you spending time selling cream? That won't work. Why aren't you coming out tonight? Here's a bad product review. I'm just looking out for you. Good luck with that." Fast forward to 2 years later, we did north of $3 million in sales and became top salespeople with the company. The door to self-education opened up, and our lives have never been the same. The knowledge we absorbed about people, fears, public speaking, selling and marketing, not only products, but ourselves, was second to none. It was an experience that introduced us to lifelong friends and is one we highly value. But the one muscle we have really built through all of these experiences? Getting over the fear of rejection and failure. When you are in the field of sales or entertainment, you are told no almost every day. Welcome to Los Angeles. When I moved to Los Angeles, I began auditioning right away. The market for my type was really hot, and I was auditioning left and right. However, a lot goes into the auditioning process. Your agent gets you an audition and emails the details to your manager, who then forwards them to you. Within the email, you will find the breakdown of your character and the scenes and the details about where and when the audition will take place. If the audition's at 3 p.m. on a Monday afternoon, you print out the scenes and begin learning them right away. Depending on the material, it can take anywhere from 20 minutes to 3 hours. The day of the audition, you wake up, get dressed, walk to your car, remove the parking ticket you received the night before, and head to the audition. With LA traffic, the drive is usually an hour minimum. You arrive to the address, only to find parking is nearly impossible. Once you manage to find a spot and walk the half a mile to the audition, you are now drenched, sweaty, and vulnerable. You try to regain your composure and enter the building. You walk into the building only to be greeted by 7 other people sitting in the waiting room who look like identical clones of you. You sign in, take a seat, and glance through the scenes you have practiced. After 10 minutes or so, on a good day, you'll be called into a tiny room with a single empty chair front and center. Mind you, this room is no bigger than an office space. A lady or gentleman sits across from you and reads the other part. Once you complete the scenes for which you're auditioning, you exit the room and head back to your car. Shocker, there's a parking ticket tucked under your windshield wiper because you didn't have time to stop and feed your meter. You grab the ticket, hop in your car, and head home in traffic, wondering if they liked you. The next day, you receive a call that they want to see you again and have you read for the producers. In addition, they give you new scenes to learn. You go through this entire process again, only to find out a week later, the answer is no. All of that energy for one no. In my first 5 years in LA, I went on 500 auditions and was told no 485 times. 485 times I went through that same process, was told I wasn't good enough, and was rejected. But what I didn't know at the time was all of the stress, hard work, and lessons were building my rejection muscle. By the time my Days of Our Lives audition came around, I had zero fear of rejection. I was comfortable, confident, and no longer green. The problem is, too many people who want to succeed in life stop after their first handful of no's. Yes, I heard no 485 times to get there, but the 15 yeses made my career. Ask yourself, why do I care if someone rejects me? Take a minute and be honest. If I had to guess, it's because you don't want to feel the pain or embarrassment. However, that discomfort is the price you have to pay in order to achieve something great. You will experience micro setbacks, failures, and rejections during your journey, but those will be the defining moments that give you the strength to succeed. What other option do you have if you don't try? Even with the experience I now have, I still get rejected. I still fail, but honestly, I don't care. I understand that if I want to move forward, I have to break through the fear of rejection. It's not going to be easy. Change is hard. It hurts when you fail, and it hurts when you get rejected. But guess what? Everyone you look up to or admire has dealt with rejection and failure over and over again. However, they've built that muscle to handle it emotionally. Self-education. Whenever I reflect on school, I always wish they would have taught us more about emotional intelligence. The education system grades us on intellect of facts and figures, which is great, but dissecting a frog or knowing the circumference of a circle hasn't served me in my life. What would have greatly served me would have been learning how to interact with others, how to display empathy, deal with rejection, understand failure, learn how to take the high road, not be passive-aggressive or sarcastic, how to forgive and accept others, and most importantly, how to respect our fellow brothers and sisters. We didn't learn any of that. But the good news, we're here to crack open the book on self-education and start working out those muscles. Just like beginning a new workout routine, you will be sore, and it will be hard. But the more you run, the stronger your legs get, the stronger your lungs get, and the more endurance you achieve. When learning to deal with rejection, you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Just like you can't compare yourself to a lifelong marathon runner if you've just started walking around the block. The only difference between you and the marathon runner is experience. The professional spent many years getting up every day, day after day, and putting in the work. They may have dealt with peers telling them all they did was run and had to field the same questions. Why can't you come to dinner? Why can't you stay out late? Why are you only eating grilled chicken? Have some pizza. The marathon runner also had to deal with injuries along the way, tragedies in their family, and milestone events. He or she had to make sacrifices, put in the hard work, and still come up short in some of the early races. Rejection is no different. You have to put yourself out there. The interesting thing about rejection, people say no all the time. It's not just you who experiences rejection. It's everyone. Instead of running from rejection, think about this. It's inevitable that people will reject you. So if it's inevitable, you may as well take the chance and push forward. It will make you stronger. It will inspire your friends, your family, and your children. You deserve the best in life. Tackle rejection head on, and you'll build that emotional muscle which will allow you to keep climbing. You are either climbing or falling. There is no middle ground. Ask yourself, are you climbing or falling right now? If you are falling, apply some of the lessons in this book to regain your stance and balance on that ladder, and start climbing to new heights. Get past the fear of rejection, get past the fear of others' opinions, and climb to your promised land. If you need a boost, attach your progress to your motivation and the reason why you get out of bed in the first place. Don't let a no dim your light. You need to shine bright for yourself, for your future, and for your family.
Famous failures. I once saw a quote on Instagram that said, "Rejected? Nah, I'm just redirected." It gave me all the feels. What a brilliant thought. Instead of taking rejection personally, why not take it as a detour to a new path? After all, struggle and criticism are a prerequisite for greatness. If you want to grow and move next level in any aspect of your life, rejection, redirection is going to be a part of it. I love the idea of failing forward, meaning when you fail, consider it a good thing. Fail forward. Turn your mishaps into a pathway to success. Through each failure, you will take away lessons as to why you didn't succeed and how you can improve when you try again. We very rarely get a look at successful individuals' failures, but rather, we only see them where they wound up. We take a look at some famous failures for a new perspective. Number 1. When Steve Jobs was only 30 years old, he was left devastated after being fired from the very company he started, Apple. Ironically, future ventures like Pixar and Next ultimately led Jobs back to the position of CEO at Apple. In 2005, Jobs said, "I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." Number 2. Retired basketball legend Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team for his lack of skill. In earlier years, basketball coaches had trouble looking past the fact that he didn't meet the minimum height requirements. Jordan then went on to become a 6-time NBA champion, 5-time NBA MVP, and 4-time NBA All-Star. Jordan says, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." Number 3. The pioneer of the theory of general relativity, Albert Einstein himself, did not speak fluently until the age of 9. He was expelled from school, and his teachers described him as mentally slow. However, these early setbacks did not stop Einstein from winning the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. He believed success is failure in progress. Einstein's research has influenced culture, art, and religion. Number 4. Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem, was a high school dropout with personal struggles stemming from drugs and poverty, culminating in an unsuccessful suicide attempt. He turned his pain into fuel and became a 13-time Grammy Award-winning rapper and has sold over 90 million albums worldwide. As he mentions in one of his songs, "Success is my only option, failure's not." Number 5. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper in his early years for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. Legend has it, He was turned down 302 times before he got financing for creating Disney World. Disney then went on to be nominated for 59 Academy Awards and won 32 of them. As Disney so eloquently said, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. One thing all of the above legends have in common: they lived outside of their comfort zones. To reach new heights in life, you must get comfortable being uncomfortable. Anything beautiful I've developed in my life began with me being extremely uncomfortable. When you have a new idea, you must cultivate, water, and grow that seed. If you want to get serious about taking a new direction, you must first map out a strategic and specific game plan. Think about a time when something absolutely sensational happened in your life. A time when you achieved an exhilarating goal. Were you uncomfortable before you became comfortable? When I think back to my best experiences, it was when I stepped out of my comfort zone that the magic happened. A few examples. Number 1, learning a new business model in early 2014 and going headfirst into an industry in which I had zero experience, all while working full-time as an executive assistant and a tutor to a high schooler. I was looking to quit my jobs for a better opportunity, and in the third quarter of 2014, I was able to do just that. Number 2, after a major car accident in 2014, I whipped my mindset into shape and fought harder than ever to get my life back. 12 surgeries later, here I am today with a grateful heart. Number 3, putting myself out on the internet and learning everything I could about blogging, editing, and podcasting. I used to feel incredibly awkward anytime Freddie and I would go out and shoot photos. Now I embrace it and have fun while doing it. How do you get comfortable being uncomfortable? Number 1, start. The first step is always the most uncomfortable, but all you have to do is show up and your battle is half won. Number 2, don't quit. Results take consistency and time. Remember that. There is no quantum leap in life. You have to remain committed to your goals and they will come to fruition. Keep pushing forward. Number 3, push past your comfort zone. At some point, you will say to yourself, I've never done this, or I don't know how to do this. We've all been there. The trick? Learn, do, assess, repeat. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Number 4, be around like-minded people and track your progress. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Create a positive circle who supports you and roots you on. Continue to track progress so you can see how far you've come. You've got this. Keep going. Number 5, wash, rinse, and repeat. The more you perform the same activity, the more confidence you will gain. The harder you work, the easier it looks. A few reminders. Use fear as fuel. There is no perfect moment. It doesn't exist. You have to create it yourself. Being ready is an excuse. Get out there and do. Are you ready to pivot from fear? Answer the following questions. Number 1, what are my thoughts? Am I uncomfortable right now? What's making me uncomfortable? Number 2, how am I going to put myself out there and work on my fear and rejection muscles? Number 3, what have I learned from my past mistakes? How can I use this to better myself in the future? What is my personal favorite failure?